Okay, Assalamu alaikum. What I'm trying to do with for everybody here that's following my page is to do a short series that are related to real estate topics, inshallah. So what I want to cover today with everybody is what an agent should do when he or she first gets licensed. I remember when I got first licensed, I didn't really know what to do. I just went to the first guy I knew, which is my current team lead, and he kind of guided me. But then I noticed a lot of people reach out to me and they ask, okay, if I'm getting I've had many people reach out to me. They're getting their license. They want to figure out how to get started. Look, step one. Let's talk about this before. Let's talk about step zero before we go to step one. Step zero is us actually taking the exam. A lot of people they get hesitant, they stress about okay, which class should I take it with, which course, and they have all these questions. My recommendation to you is take a course that's not the cheapest and that's not the most expensive. Take a course that's in between because most likely it'll give you somewhat of decent content. When you go with the cheapest amount, think about what you're signing yourself up for. This is a course that's supposed to help you get your license to get your business going. If you end up being, let's say, a little bit cheap in this regard and you're starting things off like that, that's going to set your mentality for your entire business moving forward. You're always going to be looking to save $50 somewhere down the line. And that's not how businesses work. So, step zero is pick a mediocre course that you can start for yourself and enroll in that and just try your best and study. A lot of people push their timing back, they delay it, procrastinate. No, it's okay. Even if you fail, do it again. Every time you pay for the test, it's an investment towards yourself. I'm not saying just go and randomly take the test, study for it, actually take notes and pay attention, and then try it. If it doesn't work, there are many people who take it multiple times. Myself, I didn't pass the first time around. And then I took it the second time. I missed it by one question. Had I gotten that question right, I would have passed. But because of one question, I had to retake it. Imagine what I felt. You know what I did after I failed? The first thing I did, I came home and I rescheduled my next exam and I set it out like 2 weeks later because I said I'm pretty much there. I just need to pass it. I need to go back to it, right? So don't become demotivated if you do fail the first time. Just sign up again and just actually try. Now, when you finish that step, right, and you actually start your actual work, what are you supposed to do? What brokerage do you go with? That's what I want to talk about today. Just the initial step one, and we'll have more parts coming up. When you get your license, keep in mind that brokers need you more than you need a broker. And this is so important, right? A lot of people, including myself, you first get your license, you're thinking, oh my God, who's going to take me? Who's going to work with me? And then the first person that talks to you, you jump with them, right? Look, what I recommend for you, if you're someone who's about to get their license, what you should do is interview brokers. Yes, you can start with the ones you know of, the ones you're familiar with, but ask them, if you're my broker, how are you going to help me? Look, here's the truth. When you join their brokerage, they benefit. They make money off of you. You're going to be working hard, which is appropriate. You're going to be bringing in money and they're going to get a cut. They're going to benefit from you. And there are brokerages that have over 100, 200. I'm part of EXP Realty, thousands of agents, right? So you really have to make sure you understand why you're signing up with a brokerage. So ask them. A lot of people don't think about that. A lot of people just jump into it. That's point one. Ask the broker. What should you ask? Let's go over that real quickly. Ask them, hey, is there a cap? What's a cap? Cap means that is there a certain amount of money I need to bring to you? Where if I give you that much of money, then you'll stop taking money from me and the rest I can keep. For example, if there is a brokerage that you work with and they say, let's say they take $15,000 and that's their cap. What that means is after you bring in commission after commission after commission, and after they take a part of that commission until they have their 15K. So let's say they take $200 for each commission. They're going to keep taking $200 or whatever the percentage is, hypothetical situation, until they get their $15,000. And then after they reach their 15,000, whatever you make, you can keep. So that's actually the most common scenario. But I actually knew an agent who was, oh my gosh, I was talking to him and I was like, hey, what's your cap? He's like, what's that? What's a cap? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I don't know what that is. I never discussed that. So this guy will probably, let's say hypothetically, he brings in $20,000 for the brokerage. He has to keep giving the brokerage money. So one thing you should learn about is what's the cap? How does it work, right? What fees do I have to pay for the brokerage? And once you answer that question, because that's you giving them value, right? When you bring in money for them, you give them value. Now you understand what you're going to give them in terms of monetary value. Now you ask them. You're not looking for money back. When you give money, you're looking for service back. You ask them, what can I get back from you? What will you do for me? And every broker will tell you, oh, we have trainings and we have trainings and we'll have weekly trainings and blah, blah, blah. No, that's not what you need. Everyone is already providing me weekly trainings. Why should my $15,000 go to you versus another broker who's also giving me training? So, what's the second question? What kind of training do you offer? Understand that, right? And maybe there will be some overlap with what you learn at the exam. But if you did learn for the exam, but if you didn't, you can ask questions and have a discussion, right? And if the broker seems like he doesn't want to give you the time to explain all that, that's not a guy to work with. But if he actually sits down with you and explains everything, that's someone who's investing their time with you, and you might want to consider working for them. And then this is the last question for today's session, pretty much you asking them, hey, I get you're going to give me this training. I get it's going to happen weekly. I get it's going to cover these subjects. Can you give me a path to follow, a system to implement, something that I can have, that's organized, that's there in place, that will help me go from zero to selling my first house? Because I get it. There's going to be all kinds of training. There's training for buyers, there's training for sellers, there's training for investors, there's training for inspection, there's training for appraisal, there's training for a lot of things. Do you have a system in place that I can follow, that I can track? Because, let's say you work for GM and you're an engineer, you're going to be engineer level 1, and they have a track where if you do this, then you go level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5, and you'll make this much money. You'll do this. Do you have a system like that for me? And if the broker says, yes, I have a system or I have people that will help you create that system or implement that system, great. You can work with that broker potentially, right? Then you can actually compare the monetary value. But if a broker says, yeah, I'm not going to take anything more than $400 a transaction. Oh, wow, that's nothing. Okay, I can do that. That's the cheapest offer I got. But what about the training? Oh, here and there training. You want to invest in yourself. So this is a point where you want to make sure that you are taking full benefit of what the broker has to offer, because the first year of real estate, you don't get it back. Either you learn it properly the first time around, or you will always repeat making the same mistakes, which you don't want to fall into. So what you want to do is you want to prioritize the value you get over the money you're going to pay. So it's okay for you to pay that 15,000. Some people are like, oh my gosh, $15,000, that's a lot. No, that's the going rate. It's a business. There are agents who make $200,000. For them to give 15K from 200K, they still have 185K. Then they pay their taxes, whatever they have to do. But does that make sense? So don't think of your income to be, oh my God, I'm going to make 40K. I got to give away 15K. No, it doesn't work like that. No, some of you won't even cap at that point, right? You won't even actually make that income. So what you should do is understand what value they're going to give you, and if they have a system in place for you to implement. If the broker has a system for you to implement and it's someone you can trust, you got some referrals for, then congratulations, you figured out your step 1. You figured out what brokerage to actually join. And that concludes our first session. We're going to have more, because the next session is going to talk about, should you join a team or should you go solo? Should you be independent? So stay tuned. Inshallah, next week we'll talk about it.